Hey, it's Jim. I'm back with another video. Hope everyone's doing really well out there. Well, as you can see from the thumbnail, I'm doing the SY1000 into the Quad Cortex for the alternate tunings. But this time I mastered the method. All right, I realized I was problem with a different EQ. I put multiple different EQs in it to really make this sound lively and organic. And you're going to hear it in a moment. Okay. And again, if you're finding me for the first time, my name is Jim. This is Jim's Music Journey. Okay. I like to do videos with, different effect modelers and stuff like that. With this channel, I like to use the Quad Cortex mainly. And then I integrate different types of units like the SY1000, which I'm doing here. Or I use the GM800 from Boss. And I have two H90s that I like to use with it. In this video, actually, I might do a little bit with the H90s from some effects in the end. Maybe I might mess around with it. All right, so I hope you enjoy here the demonstrations, or I'm going to do of each alternate tuning. I hope you like it, okay? I'm going to put a link in of the older videos in the end, so you can compare the differences, and you can see how I changed it, all right? Okay, here it is. Start with E and then work my way, down to the alternate tunings and stuff like that. Let me show you how E sounds first before I show you the settings here. E, right? We all know E, right? So the trick is, what I found was the EQs, okay? And the first is the SY1000, okay? This is how I have the EQ set up. But what I first do is I go to the amp, and I set the amp the way I want it. Then I make this EQ block here, okay? Make the finer cuts, and then even more cuts, or adds, whatever, and the SY1000. All right, this is how I've been playing with this for a while. I have to get this to sound great. So finally did, and it sounds very organic and live. But as you can see, E sounded really well. Sounded good job, right? It sounded good. So let's go on to E flat. Okay, here we go. We'll go back to E. And E flat. So this is the EQ that I did for this one. It's just the first EQ. I don't mess with the second EQ here. Okay, I'll add another EQ when I go lower and lower and lower. Okay, here we go. This is what I set it at right here after the other one. And the Quad Cortex is set the same throughout each tuning. It doesn't change. It doesn't alternate or anything like that. Okay, and then on the back here, I have two H90s, eventide H90s in the back, and that's on D. So let's go see what that sounds like again, E flat. And you have the two H90s to it. For that, right? Those two H90s sound awesome together. Yeah, it cost me a little bit of money, but I did it because more is more and more is awesome. All right, so that was that. Let's move on to D. All right. Okay, here we go. see I have two EQs here. This is the first one, settings, right? And this is the second one. Here you go. All right, you might want to take it. If you have the SY1000, you want to do this, I'll just keep her up for a second. You can also pause and just check it out, write it down if you want. And we're going to move on, okay, to the next one. We're going to go to C. Here we go with C. Here's the EQ for this one. I changed it up probably a little bit. I don't remember. I'd have to look back. And the second one. All right. As you can see, I changed it for each tuning. Now I'm going to go to A. And here we go for A. Okay, and the EQ settings I have with that. All right, first one and the second one. All right, so let's move on to G. All right, here we go. And you'll see here, I think I gotta mess with that more. I can get more out of that. Anyway, here's the first one. You can see here is a big difference. I cut the low gain here, okay? And I add some at 1 kilohertz, okay? And I did these changes here. That's not on the others. As the lower I go, I gotta clear it up, and that's what I do. All right? Now the next one, we'll do F. Why not, right? Let's see what that sounds like with the 2H90s. Why not? Got it here. Let's play with it. So we're going to move on, and we're going to go to start some drop tunings. Now, we know the Quad Cortex can do change the tunings and stuff, but it can't do drop tunings. But this can, right? Here we go. Sounds pretty cool. All right, now this EQ here. Okay, like I said, I changed them all around. And there. And then we'll go drop C. Sounds cool. Fake drop A. Why not? Sounds cool. All right, so let's do some double drops. Here we go. Double droppity drop. Double drop C. All right. Show you, go back to that, show the EQ for this one and the EQ for that one. Now let's move on to fake double drop A. We'll go back to the original thing. Oh, the volume would help, right? Messed up again. particular. I was just riffing. Anyway, so let me go back and show you the EQ for that one. Here you go. Oh. The EQ is totally different here. See that one? Because it sounded really muddy, and I had to get rid of that mud. It still sounds a little muddy. But there you go. That's how it is. Let's play around with the H90 going out. All right. You'll see the link in the end here. All right.